We now know new details were in a reported sexual assault on the MKT trail earlier today. Good evening. I'm Brittany Pieper.
And I'm Jim Rick. Thanks for joining us. We've learned the victim of the assault was a 14-year-old girl. KOMU 8 Sarah Hensel is here in the studio with reaction from the trail.
Columbia police just released new information on this case. Police say that they got a call to Flatbridge Park after a 14-year-old girl said she was assaulted around 2:30. The girl was at the park with her friends and went off by herself. Next, her friends heard her screaming. She told her friends she was assaulted, and they saw the suspect running away. The victim described the suspect as a white male in his mid-40s with a thin build and about 6 feet tall. She also said he had a large mole on his forehead. The girl went to the hospital for evaluation, and officers are still looking for the suspect. I spoke with one trail goer near the area who said that he avoids the trail after dark because the later it is, the more unsafe he feels. But again, this happened right in the afternoon.
One man is in the hospital tonight after gunshots at Columbia's Douglas Park. The shooting happened just before 6:30. KOMU 8's Anthony Romano is live in the park. So, Anthony, what do you know so far?
Well, police responded to gunshots here at Douglas Park, and they found the victim lying on the sidewalk. And you can actually see behind me exactly where they found his body, and they actually found the shell casing there as well. Now, he was treated for gunshot wounds in his upper back area. He was breathing, conscious, and talking at the time. Now, police told me he was transported to an area hospital. And as far as the suspect is concerned, police told me that there were reports of a suspect running north of the park, but police are not actively searching for him at this time. Now, Sergeant Harlan Hatton told me that, quite frankly, police are still not completely confident on what exactly went down here tonight. They're still searching for information, and as are we, and we'll be sure to keep you updated with that as we learn more. For now, reporting live in Douglas Park, Anthony Romano, KOMU 8 News.
January 1st, 2017, constitutional carry becomes the law of the land in Missouri. No permits, no training, nothing but a criminal background check needed to buy a firearm.
KOMU 8's Megan Judy explains the new law as police suppress fears about who can walk around with a gun.
In February of 2016, 467 conceal and carry permits were issued in Boone County, roughly half new and half renewals. In September of this year, that number dropped to 46. Local law enforcement officials think Missourians are waiting for January when they won't have to get a permit or do any training.
What concerns me the most is that
brought to the forefront a little more.
There's a section in Senate Bill 656 about extended permits. They last anywhere from 10 years to a lifetime, but they won't be needed after January 1st. The only permits valid outside the state are for 5 years. Major Redden says the extended permits are a waste of money.
With the election less than 2 weeks away, the Missouri Civil Liberties Association held a forum tonight for Mid-Missouri candidates. It focused on civil liberties and civil rights. KOMU 8's Lee Yang is here in the studio with candidate reaction.
Well, the unique forum drew a small group to discuss big topics. Candidates tackled several controversial questions. Not every local candidate running for office attended, but those who did come had specific reasons as to why they participated. Mid-Missouri Normal, Boone County Libertarians, and Race Matters Friends co-sponsored the event.
With Halloween Monday, the Missouri Attorney General's office is trying to put a scare into a popular Columbia store. The Attorney General filed a lawsuit against Gotcha Costume Rental for selling cosmetic contacts without a prescription, even after a warning. Although most colored contacts don't alter your vision, state law says the contacts must be fitted to your eyes to prevent scratches, infection, and rarely blindness. The store owner says he's complying with the law by using an online prescription system.
We actually have a free service called verifymylenses.com, and we ask that our customers sign up for that and have their lenses and their prescription sent to them and provide us with a copy of their prescription.
Frace told KOMU 8 he's working with the Attorney General's office to make sure the new system fully complies with the law.
Earlier this week, 2 men were arrested and charged for growing marijuana at the Big Muddy Wildlife Refuge. However, meth residue is also an issue at state-owned conservation areas. One Missouri conservation agent told KOMU 8 News officers five times the number of meth residue deposits compared to marijuana plants. He says the land's privacy, government ownership, and convenience influence why people dispose of the chemicals, cans, and bottles used to make meth.
Most of what we're finding is just right along the gravel roadway that enters into the conservation area and the parking lot. So as somebody who has this stuff they want to dump, they want to get in and out quick.
Strother says meth residue deposits have been found on conservation areas in Howard, Boone, and Randolph counties. We saw some sunshine today. Let's send it over to Kenton to see how much warmer this weekend will be.
Brittany, thank you very much. And it was.
Columbia is teaming up with a business to help disadvantaged high schoolers get a good education.
KOMU 8's Madeline Odell is live outside Hickman High School to tell us how they plan to help.
I'm live outside one of the 4 high schools here in Columbia, whose students will now be eligible to receive one of these 3 grants. The City of Columbia and Shelter Insurance will hand out these $1,000 grants to underprivileged high school students who demonstrate financial need and good character. Each eligible student must also complete a neighborhood service project in one of 3 neighborhoods outlined in the 2016-2019 strategic plan. Columbia Civic Relations Manager Tony Messina says she hopes the project provides resources that students might not otherwise have.
It's a well-known fact that if you graduate from high school, and especially if you graduate from college, your chances of being able to support yourself and your family in the future are much greater than if you have not.
To be eligible, students must have at least a 2.5 GPA at the end of their graduation year. Final applications for the grants are due by February of next year. Reporting live in Columbia, Madeline Odell, KOMU 8 News.
Keeping your personal information safe online is now easier after the FCC passed new rules to prevent internet service providers from releasing customers' personal information. Providers have been selling consumers' personal information to help businesses target their audiences. Today's ruling now says the providers must receive consent before publishing that information.
Now you are in the driver's seat. If an internet service provider wants to use your information, wants to sell it or whatever, you can just say no. They have to get permission from you.
Internet service providers have 1 year to comply before the rules take effect. Still to come, WikiLeaks says Bill Clinton got rich off of charity work.
And in North Dakota, pipeline protesters refuse to leave, but authorities are starting to use force. Yet another set of emails released by WikiLeaks today show how Bill Clinton made millions during Hillary Clinton's time as Secretary of State. The hacked memo outlines Bill Clinton Incorporated, a for-profit entity created by one of the former president's closest aides. The 2011 memo says the aide used the entity to generate business for the Clinton Foundation. The Clinton campaign has not authenticated the memo. Donald Trump commented on the Clintons' ethics during his campaign rally in Ohio today. Trump took advantage of the WikiLeaks memo, claiming there are ethical lapses between the Clinton Foundation and the personal finances of the couple. But there's also drama for the Republican candidate's campaign. In an article for Bloomberg, a top aide for Trump admitted the candidate's campaign is working to keep African-American voter turnout low.
He's given up on winning the votes of African Americans, young women. So he's not trying to bring them over to his side. He's trying to give them a reason not to vote at all.
Experts say with so much negativity in this race, both sides getting or failing to get supporters more likely to turn out is what will win or lose this election.
Russian President Vladimir Putin said today any claims that Russia is interfering in the U.S. election is meant to distract the public from the real issues. U.S. politicians have accused Russia of coordinating the hacks of Hillary Clinton's emails in order to influence the election. Putin calls those claims ridiculous and distract voters from problems like government debt. A scary scene tonight as a plane carrying Donald Trump's running mate, Mike Pence, skidded off a LaGuardia Airport runway. Passengers say they could feel it slipping off the pavement after a night of rain. There were no reported injuries and no serious damage to the plane.
Police in riot gear removed pipeline protesters with force in North Dakota today. So far, authorities are using military buses and Humvees as well as 2 helicopters and a plane to monitor the operation. This comes after protesters refused to leave the land voluntarily, fearing cultural sites and drinking water could be harmed from the pipeline project. For 2 straight days of non-stop basketball, it's for a good cause. Find out about a high school hoops marathon spearheaded by a Mid-Missouri icon. Next in sports. Here's a look at what we're following for KOMU 8 News today. A Westminster football player is being awarded for his actions saving 2 people from a car crash.
That feel-good story coming up on KOMU 8 News today starting at 4:30 a.m. Kenton.
Well, we are cooling down into the lower 50s tonight, so still a warm one for us. We're going to see a lot of clear skies tonight. Maybe some patchy fog tomorrow, but that's becoming less likely. Otherwise, 73 by midday and 79 by tomorrow afternoon. Gusts up to 25 miles an hour throughout Friday and Saturday, both. A break from the wind and about 10 degrees cooler, but also 10 degrees still above average on Sunday. And then 80. Heat returns, and so does our winds, with gusts up to 30 for Halloween.
So Norm was being Norm today?
Norm is in mid-season form, let's say, at the luncheon today for the Norm Stewart Classic. It's great to see him as always.
I can just see a head coach telling his assistant coach, yeah, I got a job for you. You need to watch high school basketball 48 straight hours.
I want to know who's like running the game clock and the scoreboard, say at the 4 a.m. game, which they're going to have on a Saturday and a Sunday morning in December.